Hey, so this morning the Lord reminds me of how often we can find ourselves in a place. Sometimes we don't even realize we're there. We're stuck in this place and want God to help us, and it just feels like He's not coming through. And in this, He showed me of so many different things in my life where He didn't come through in those moments. He came through when something started happening. And that something is when I started moving. To give you some amazing examples is, you know, the Lord didn't save Daniel from the lion's den. He saved him when he was in the lion's den. That's in Daniel, the book of Daniel, Daniel 6. Daniel 3, a little bit before that, the three guys, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. God didn't save them before the flame, before the fire, before the oven. He saved them inside. You see what's going here? Fair enough, but David and Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego ended up where they ended up because they defiled king's orders. And they prayed to the Lord. Shadrach and Meshach and Abednego didn't, they refused to worship an idol. But also after these acts, those kings saw the power of God. And stuff changed. The king changed. Everything started changing then in the world because of these actions of these faithful men who refused to give up on God. This is insane. But can you imagine this thing? Have you ever pictured this even? Sitting in this den full of all these lions. You know, the pictures that we see look so peaceful and restful. And yes, life is extremely peaceful with the Lord. You are content in the Lord. Except when you get like passionate and flamey and stuff. But there's still a level of contentness inside. You know? But the pictures that people draw and paint and stuff, everything looks so peaceful in there. But if you really picture yourself being in there amongst these lions, these hungry lions that can at any given second, you probably won't even last a minute. You know what I mean? It's crazy. And I mean, I'm talking fire. Have you ever burnt yourself with a fire or on a stove plate that isn't even fire yet? It's hot. It hurts. And nothing happened to them. This is massive, you know. And then you go further and you look at David. Oh man, don't get me started on David. I'll tell you that. Don't get me started on David. David's my favorite guy in the Bible. I love David because of the example of everything that he is to me, in every aspect that he is. But the importance of today that I want to bring to David is how often God, or how many times God saved David as well. You know, the first thing when Saul said, "You're too small," when he fought Goliath, that's the biggest one that we know about David. Everybody knows that. You know, David fighting off Goliath. But that's because David had unwavering faith in the Lord. And all it cost him to do, once again, it's in the action. He ran down. He got these 5 pebbles or stones and he went up at him. But the first thing when Saul said, "You're too tiny, you can't fight this big oak," he said, what did God do? God saved me from the paw of the lion. God saved me from the paw of the bear. In the action, David defended his sheep. God saved him. When the Bible says the Spirit of God left Saul, and he became so angry and he wanted to kill David, and David had to run, but God saved him. But in the action, you know, David could have turned around at any given stage to do something to Saul as well, to defend himself. But David was fully under the law of the Lord that said, you will not raise your hand on the people that was placed in authority above you, because they were placed there by the Lord. The anointed King Saul was the anointed king of the Lord, even if the Spirit had left him. You know, so even with these actions, God saved David all around. He saved Daniel. He saved Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. When Paul was in prison, there's times where in Acts, there was an earthquake. And I think Paul and Silas were together in jail at that time. There was an earthquake, and the Bible says the jail cells flew open, and everybody's chains fell off. And the guy that was standing on watch wanted to kill himself because he thought everybody got out. So he ran, and as he drew his sword, you know, Paul shouted to him, says, "Hey, don't worry, we're all here," and it saved that man's life because he asked them, "What can I do to get saved?" So in all these actions, it takes big steps from us, massive faith from us. But my friend, God starts moving when you move. He moves when you move. And He waits patiently for you to move. But He equips you. And you can know that for the step that you're about to take, to get out of your anxiety, to get out of your depression, to get out of that stressful situation that you're in, You know, how do you think you ended up getting business from that guy that you know for a fact doesn't like you, but he gave you the business? That's a move from God, my friend. That's how God operates. He knows you were supposed to have this. And in these actions and things that you're doing, if you stand out there and you shine that light for the Lord, people will have to be saved, you know. But you, more importantly, will be saved along the way. God acts when you move. He acts. He meets you in that place. And he steps up for you. Oh, God steps up, man. Oh, God steps up, man. Another one in Matthew 8 is a nice one when the leper came to Jesus. And he said, Jesus saved him immediately. He says, if you want to save me, save me. And he said, be cleansed. He said, that's cool, be cleansed. And the Bible says immediately he was healed of his leprosy. But it cost this man an action. He had to go, a lot of these people in Jesus' time had to fight to get to him. A lot of people kept him away from Jesus. And in every time Jesus said, you're healed. A few verses later after that one, of the man with the leper, a centurion came to Jesus, says the Bible, about a sick guy at his house. And Jesus said, I'm coming. He says, no, don't worry to come with me. I'm a man who's got many servants and I'm in charge of many people. I just say to this one, do that, and that one, do this, and this one, do that, and they go. All you have to do is say the word, Lord. And Jesus actually turned around and said that he's never seen a faith of this level. Never. He says, go, and it will be done according to your belief. So how is that, right? Just that speaks to me that God doesn't always even have to be there. But God is our help, my friend, and he acts. He walks with you. And something just led me this morning. I want to read Psalm 121 with you. Psalm of David. We're on David again. But I'm just going to read Psalm 121 with you. And then, have a fantastic day after that. So Psalm 121 says, I lift my eyes up to the mountains. Where does my help come from? My help comes from the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth. He will not let your foot slip. He who watches over you will not slumber. Indeed, he who watches over Israel will neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord watches over you. The Lord is your shade at your right hand. The sun will not harm you by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord will keep you from all harm. He will watch over your life. The Lord will watch over your coming and going, both now and forevermore. The Lord's got you, my friend. He's got you. Just take that first step. Start actioning what you believe. And watch how the Lord comes through for you.